I have regrets! This is quite possibly the biggest hobby mistake I've ever made, right? I decided that I was going to make a cosmic horror megagargant army for AOS, because it means you can do whatever you like as long as it's creepy and weird and a bit Lovecraftian, we're in! And I started out relatively sensible. This is a Mutilated vortex beast. That's all it is. It's got some celestial stardrake wings from the Stormcast Eternals, friend Adam going spare, and you know what? I gobbled them up and slapped them on there, and that's pretty much all it is. We've got some extra wings for good measure, but that's fine. Also, I need to repaint this. I did not do a good job. But you know what? That's alright. In terms of conversions, in terms of making something a bit creepy and a bit weird, not too much effort, and you know what? It's not too difficult to transport, it's not too flimsy. So where do we go from here? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Well, we just make it worse, don't we? Because if we're going to go weird and Lovecraftian, we've got to go properly weird and Lovecraftian, which is why we've got this thing. Now this, I don't even know where to start with this. This is half scenery, half some sort of Nurgle Glotkin thing, and it's not even assembled properly. Like, I didn't use the back legs for this, I used the front legs twice, but back to front. Also, the top of it is now the underside of it. The main concern, though, is how the hell are you going to transport this when it's got these right here? This is not particularly strong, because they're just hanging off with chains. That's all it is. That's a terrible idea, that's already a mistake. But you know what? We need to make it worse. I mean, what could be more stupid than this project? Oh yeah, magnetising the bases so that I could use them as Chaos Knights for fun narrative games for battle reports. That's definitely the way to go. We should totally do that. Magnetise the bases, have bases that can be switched out from rounds to ovals so they can act as two different armies in AOS and 40k. Wow, what a genius plan. I mean, this one's not too bad. He kind of sits okay. Still need to magnetise that bit. It's not terrible. It's alright. You can move him around. He's not going to fall off too quickly, unless, of course, you move him that way, in which case, suddenly he starts to wobble. But, could be worse. Could be worse. Will be mostly secure. So the idea at least is sound, even if it is absolutely stupid. So what do you do then, if you decide to make a model that you can't magnetise the legs on? Well, there you go. You kind of up the creek without a paddle there, aren't you? Because what am I going to do with these? What magnets are going to fit on the end of spindly knife legs? It's a good question. I don't have the answer. Do you have the answer? No, no one does. But works a way around that as well, because look at that. Look, just wedge it in there. Wedge it in. It's fine. I mean, if you get it just right, you can even pick it up, the base stays on. Not too bad, despite my own stupidity, my own idiocy, my own determination to make things as difficult as they can possibly be for myself. You'll also note, a lot of this not painted, because what the hell am I supposed to do to paint it? It could be worse, it could always be worse, even than this. But how, you ask? How could it possibly be worse than that? Idiot. Many questions have been asked from myself to myself. Firstly, how am I going to paint this? How am I going to do it? I mean, it's going to be very airbrush heavy because look at the state of it. You can't even sub-assembly it. How will I sub-assembly this? This was just done in like a fever dream. It just brought itself into existence through my hands. Some sort of biblical angel-esque, which was kind of the inspiration, but it sort of ended up being a lot more weird than that, with all like spikes and flesh coming off it. I mean, oh, by the way, just to make it even more stupid, yes, this is also magnetised, because of course it is. This was a simple concept. What if there was a guy and he just exploded into weird angelic stuff without warning? He didn't know it was going to happen. He's supposed to be protecting someone, they've got weird psychic powers, boom, there you go. He's turned into a monstrosity. Fine in theory, but in practice, firstly, this is already a wobbly model without sticking all of that crap at the top of it, right? This was already a bit, just a little unstable, and then I made it incredibly top heavy, because of course I did. The thing is, I did manage to magnetise it. That's not too bad, except it's almost impossible to get back on once you got it off. There we go. It's alright, it settles down eventually. It's like some sort of kid's toy. It just wobbles around endlessly. You know what, all of that was bad enough, but then I decided to make it worse by having floating earth go around the base and around the bottom of the model. Hence the cork. It's going to be turned into like stone and earth and bushes and the like. So now it's even more wobbly, because that wobbles, and this wobbles, and that wobbles, and this wobbles. This is the greatest mistake I have made when it comes to my hobby career so far, and dear God, am I never going to make something like this again once this is over.